Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're really plunging into an age-old dilemma, one that, well, it still echoes today, doesn't it? It's a story about an impossible choice, really. Profound reevaluation of values and the kind of heavy, unexpected price of ambition. Our source material for this deep dive, it comes from these powerful excerpts of Arjuna's Dilemma, Kinship over Kingdom. And our mission today is to explore that intense internal conflict of Arjuna. He's this legendary figure, from one of the world's great epics. And he's grappling with something truly unthinkable, fighting his own family. These verses, they aren't just ancient poetry. They reveal a deeply resonant questioning of what it means to live, to fight, and maybe even to win when everything you hold dear is right there on the line.
Mm-hmm. And to really feel the weight of Arjuna's situation, you absolutely have to picture the scene. We're at Kurukshetra. This is the pivotal battlefield in the Mahabharata. Arjuna, he's the greatest archer of the Pandavas, one of the two families at war, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. But, as he looks out at the opposing army, he doesn't just see enemies, not at all. He sees his revered teachers. He sees beloved uncles, cousins, friends from childhood. And his charioteer, Krishna vassal called Govinda, isn't just a guide. He's his divine counsel, which is crucial here. So for Arjuna, this is way beyond just a battle of armies. It's a moral precipice. It's an emotional, spiritual catastrophe unfolding before even one arrow flies. The conflict inside him is, well, it's almost unbearable.
Yeah, unbearable is the word. And that immense weight, it just hits you instantly in the very first verse we're going to explore. It's right here that Arjuna doesn't just, hesitate. He fundamentally rejects the whole thing. Listen to this, the transliterated Sanskrit. Na katti vijay kata swashanoahav, na kata vijay katankaraya sukanita.
That verse is just so incredibly potent. It immediately lays bare Arjuna's profound distress. Let's break it down a bit. The first part. I do not see any good, O Krishna, in killing my own kinsmen in battle. It really hinges on two key terms. First, svajanam. Now, this isn't just a generic word for people or enemies, not at all. It specifically means one's own kinsmen, blood relatives, basically, those you share this unbreakable family bond with. It really underscores that deeply personal, almost genetic connection. That's what makes the act so morally repugnant to him. He's facing his identity, his lineage, his community right there. So to strike them down, it isn't just defeating an opponent, it's like tearing apart the very fabric of his own world. And then there's reyo. Now this word, it translates to good, welfare, or ultimate benefit. But it carries a much, much deeper philosophical weight than just, what feels pleasant or what's immediately advantageous. Rio refers to that which leads to lasting spiritual welfare, ultimate virtue, or true enduring prosperity. Arjuna isn't just saying this feels bad temporarily. No, he's saying he sees no positive outcome at all. No true spiritual or ethical welfare, no ultimate benefit, period. For him, it would be utterly devoid of any real lasting merit. It's a complete rejection that this path could possibly lead to a good end in any meaningful cosmic sense. He's not just questioning the battle, he's questioning the very moral compass that points towards a truly good life.
Right. That distinction is so important, isn't it, between just immediate gain and that ultimate good. And it makes his next statement even heavier. He goes on, I desire neither victory nor kingdom nor pleasures. Just think about that for a second. What does it mean when a warrior, standing right on the edge of the most critical battle of his life, explicitly renounces the very things wars are fought for? Victory, power, personal enjoyment. It's not just surprising. It's radical, a total inversion of what you'd expect from a hero figure. It's like, imagine today, maybe a top CEO about to close a huge deal, billions involved, market dominance, everything. But then, last minute, they realize it means, thousands lose their jobs or ruins the environment or betrays some core ethical promise. And they just say, nope, the profit, the power, the glory, forget it. It's not worth it. I don't want it. That's the scale of Arjuna's rejection here. He's disavowing the definition of success he's basically lived by his whole life.
Exactly. And what's truly fascinating here is that this isn't just, a tactical pause or a moment of weakness. It's much deeper. It really signifies an ethical and existential crisis. It cuts right to the core. The usual motivations that drive conflict and ambition, victory, power, enjoyment, they become completely hollow, meaningless to Arjuna if the price is this immense human and moral cost. He's experiencing a complete flip, an inversion of that typical heroic ambition. He's questioning the whole purpose of his actions, rejecting the standard ways we measure success because they just don't align with his deep sense of integrity anymore. It's like he's asking that age-old question, what good is it to gain the whole world but lose your soul?
Yeah, it's like that sudden crushing realization. What's the point? What's the point of winning if the price is destroying everything I actually care about, everything that gives my life meaning? And this feeling, this profound questioning, it just gets deeper, more intense in the very next verse. So verse 31 kind of lays out his ethical refusal. What does verse 32 tell us about his even deeper state of mind? Okay, here's the transliterated Sanskrit for verse 32. Kino Rayena Govinda Kevogar Jivitenava Yem Arta Katano Rayar Foga Suchenika.
These opening lines, as you said, they're profound rhetorical questions, and they're aimed right at Krishna, his divine charioteer, whom he calls Govinda. And that name, Govinda, it's significant too. It can mean one who pleases the senses, or protector of cows, or protector of the earth. It subtly reminds us of Krishna's divine, sort of all-encompassing nature, which makes Arjuna's questions even more poignant, really, directed at such a figure. He asks, of what use to us is kingdom, O Govinda? What use are enjoyments, or even life itself? Now, these aren't literal questions needing an answer, right? They're powerful rhetorical probes. They challenge the very utility, the intrinsic value of these things. Arjuna isn't just saying he doesn't want them anymore. He's questioning their ultimate worth. The worth of a kingdom, of any material pleasure, even his own life, if it has to be built on such an awful sacrifice. And this raises a huge question for us, too, one that definitely goes beyond ancient battlefields. What is the true value of any achievement, any status, any gain, if how we get it destroys the very fabric of, well, our being or our community or our deepest ethics? He's looking at all the promised rewards from his society, his family, his whole life, and seeing them as totally hollow, not just unwanted, but like functionally useless if they're tainted by this cost.
And it just becomes absolutely heartbreaking, almost devastating, with that final phrase of the verse. He says, for those for whose sake we desire kingdom, enjoyments, and happiness. He leaves it hanging there, but the implication is just stark, tragic. The gut-wrenching irony is that the very people he'd want to share a kingdom and happiness with, the very reason he'd pursue victory and pleasure, they're the exact people he's being asked to fight and possibly kill. It's such a cruel paradox, isn't it? It just strips away any possible joy from winning. Like, imagine spending your whole life building this beautiful house, dreaming of sharing it with your loved ones, only to be told the only way to finish it is to, I don't know, burn down their homes first, leaving them with nothing. That dream home would just be built on ashes and sorrow, completely empty of the shared happiness that it was supposed to hold. That's the futility Arjuna's facing.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, yeah, it highlights the ultimate futility, the tragic impossibility of the situation for Arjuna. His moral compass is screaming about this fundamental, unbearable conflict between the desired ends, kingdom, happiness, a shared life, and the devastating means killing family, destroying his own world. The whole thing just seems pointless, self-defeating. He's looking at this potential victory and seeing just an empty shell. A Pyrrhic victory, where the cost is so much greater than any conceivable gain. It's not just a strategic problem, it's a spiritual void opening up. The emotional, the psychological toll of realizing that, seeing all purpose just dissolve, it must be absolutely crushing.
Yeah. As you're listening, just try to put yourself in that moment, facing that kind of impossible choice where every single option feels devastating, where the path to what you always thought was success is paved with, well, the destruction of what you truly value. How do these two verses, when you put them together, paint this picture of just a profound crisis, a crisis of values, of duty, of personal conscience? It's not simply a warrior getting cold feet. It's a soul-deep questioning that challenges the very foundation of his existence.
It's exactly right. Verse 31, it establishes Arjuna's direct ethical refusal. I won't kill my kinsman, and he explicitly rejects the conventional rewards, victory, kingdom, pleasure. He sets a firm moral boundary there. Then, verse 32 escalates things. It moves from that ethical refusal to a much deeper philosophical inquiry. Arjuna isn't just saying, I don't want these things. He's asking, what's the use of them? What's the point if the cost is this profound, irreparable destruction? It's a questioning of the inherent worth of those rewards when they're obtained through such horrific means. It's a true existential crisis, where the pursuit of power and pleasure, things normally seen as the peak of achievement, becomes utterly, completely meaningless. So what stands out to you in this ancient story? Because Arjuna's dilemma, it really is timeless, isn't it? It forces us to think about how we in our own lives weigh our goals, our ambitions against our ethical lines, our personal costs, especially when the emotional and human stakes are just incredibly high. It makes us ask, are some prices just too high, regardless of the reward we think we'll get? Are we maybe sometimes chasing a victory that once we get it will leave us with nothing but regret and an empty kingdom?
That's a really powerful question to sit with. Arjuna's dilemma, just as we've explored in these couple of verses, it offers this profound, enduring insight, I think, that the personal and moral cost can make even the greatest victories, the grandest kingdoms, the most desired pleasures, utterly meaningless, It's a stark reminder, maybe, that true value isn't always found in what you gain, but sometimes it's found in what you absolutely refuse to sacrifice.
And that really challenges us then to consider, when does chasing a goal become completely hollow? When do the means compromise everything you hold dear? Maybe sometimes true strength isn't about achieving victory no matter what. Maybe it lies in profoundly questioning the cost of the fight itself. It's a reminder, perhaps, that often the most important battles aren't fought out there on some field, but deep within our own conscience.